We welcome you in to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Micklin and Christian Ennis. I'm Scott Ayers. We've got producer Andy behind the scenes. It's another week. We're kind of in the grueling hours, the dog days of the NBA season, where it just feels like week after week, and it's just there's a purpose at the end of this. But right now, it feels like a dark and depressing place.
All I can think about is February 8th. I
Trade
just
deadline.
want the trade deadline to be here so bad. It's like when you're a kid and you're looking forward to either like your birthday or like a super fun field trip.
Yeah.
Like all you could think about is that day. And it's like so close, but yet so far.
And you know, we've gotten a little bit of taste. Pascal Siakam is officially an Indiana Pacer. And guys, we've gotten a little glimpse. Tyrese Halliburton has come back from injury. But what does this overall fit look like for the Pacers now that Pascal Siakam is a part of this team?
I think it's a great fit because it's another guy who is defensively pretty solid. He gives them some length, mix him in with Miles Turner. But one thing that's like really important to look at when thinking about Pascal Siakam and the Pacers is the Pacers are one of the better fast break.
What is happening?
What is happening?
Continue, man. Keep talking.
Something on my face? Like, what's going on?
No. I saw Scott start giggling.
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm just an easy scapegoat.
I'm just thinking about what we're going to talk about here in a second.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, where was? Oh, yeah.
Pascal.
The Pacers are one of the best fast break offensive teams in the league.
You would say
And-
that.
Yeah, you
Because they are.
Nah, someone like you definitely
You
would say that.
I'm so confused. What is going on?
Yeah, they are fast.
Yeah, you would agree. You would agree that that's something he would say.
I would. But also I would agree with the statement. Like I feel like they are what? They are. Here's the
This
thing
show
though.
sucks.
No. They are fast. They are fast and
And
adding
they love the break.
Are you guys like high or something? What is going on?
Before the show.
It's really not that funny. It's not that funny.
But before
It's
the
not.
show, Trevor said that at some point during the show I should, after anything you say, just that one of us would go, you would say that. Like it's...
Scott came in and was saying that to our dog. Like he was like, "Oh, Howie, you would, bro.
You would say that.
So I was like, Scott, you need to bring that out like a couple times during the show to Christian.
Because we knew it would razzle and dazzle you.
But it's not as funny as I thought it was
No,
gonna be.
it's not funny at all because it doesn't even
We
make any
explained
sense
it already. Anyways, yeah, Siakam, bro. They've lost both games he's played in.
Gosh.
It's an interesting ad. Very interesting.
It's very interesting. Christian, you should continue what you were saying.
Yeah, man.
All I was gonna say is Pascal's one of the best fast break finishers in the league. That's all I was gonna say.
You would say that. I just watched Trevor spit up like he's a baby. You've got drool on your chin. Oh, so yeah, I am really excited. I'm really excited about the trade deadline.
You guys were in Tampa this last week?
We were in Tampa, home of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
You would say that.
couple hours from Miami.
Couple hours from Miami, the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
We were closer to the Orlando Magic.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right.
we
How
were
far?
An hour.
couple hours.
An hour?
Hours. Yeah.
Surprised
Just an hour.
you guys should have gone to a game.
We were dog tired after this trip. RV show every single day, talking to people nonstop.
Yeah.
8 to 6 p.m. hour shift, but we were locked in.
Yeah.
I'm still tired.
Yeah.
I feel like Jello.
Yeah, you sound tired. The listeners are probably like, man, Christian's tired.
You would say that.
But also something that we've been meaning to talk about past couple weeks
Yeah.
is just, this has
It
nothing to
has
do
to
with
be brought up.
It has to. That has nothing to do with basketball. But man, Olivia Rodrigo, she's got this song.
She's
out.
incredible.
She's got this song out called Vampire, and Scott and I, we will put it on our house speaker and just like
It's our number. It'll be my Spotify number one.
yeah. And
That's
it's just good.
bold to say because it's still January.
Yeah. Well, it was the same thing that happened last year with the song Unholy. Also my Spotify number one. And I saw majority of my listens were like in February.
Oh, really?
And then I probably listened to it like 10 more times the rest of the year. But the per capita in February was so large that it just found the number one spot. And that's what Vampire's doing now. I
Yeah.
listen to it every waking moment.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when we were in Tampa, you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a shower." I'm like, all right, cool. And then I just like faintly hear in the bathroom with the shower running, "Blood sucking fame."
Effer. But I listened to the clean version. The explicit is too strong.
Yeah,
Right.
It's too edgy.
She really says some of those words.
You feel it.
You
Yeah.
feel it.
You feel her emotion, which
Like a
that's what makes her a great
artist.
artist.
Yeah. She calls whoever she's singing about a fame effer,
Yeah.
which can't be good.
No.
It can't be good if you're in that category.
I hope that girl never gets hurt again. But if she does, it's gonna be
That
some
next
great
album,
music.
That's how I feel
is
about-
gonna be nuts.
That's how I feel about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I hope for both their sakes, I hope it ends well or continues to go. But if it ends,
Selfishly.
there's going to be some crazy
Not
songs.
only is the music going to be good from Taylor Swift, we might get the best season ever from a tight end from
Facts.
Travis Kelce.
Very true.
Well, I'm sure his podcast is gonna get a little wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not gonna talk about football. It's gonna be him just grieving the breakup of Taylor Swift. I mean, that's what I would do if I was him, because you talk about Taylor, your views are gonna go up.
Which is why we're talking about Taylor and Olivia Rodrigo to get better views across the board.
That's right. Yep.
Should we
Yeah.
talk about like BTS and like K-pop stars
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys know any?
too? BTS.
BTS.
Oh, that's a band.
Yeah.
Yeah. BTS. They got it. They got it.
They got
you
it.
know BTS.
Yeah. Of course.
REBTS, Mimi.
That was terrible.
So the trade deadline is coming up. Pacers got Siakam.
Which honestly, really quick, I don't want to spend too much more time on that, but them getting Siakam, I think, was a great move for them if he can re-sign. That's the question mark. Why are you laughing, dude?
I can't keep a straight face. I'm just thinking the first 6 minutes of the show was razzling and dazzling Christian,
Yeah.
going straight into Olivia Rodrigo.
the show is
It's completely
wild.
derailed.
It is
Yeah, it's derailed.
I will say with the Pacers, their organization and the way that they're doing it, I think it's interesting the way that they're building the team. It's similar, honestly, to Sacramento. They have a star point guard who they trade and they get bona fide, has been an all-star. They did give up a lot of draft capital with which Sacramento did not. Sorry, I can't even talk right now. Which Sacramento did not have to do. But I'm curious to see how those two can play off each other.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I mean, Tyrese is still managing his hamstring injury. Like they've only played one game together. So far in the Pascal Siakam era, they've never won a game.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
They're over.
So right now they're looking like fools. But no, I think Siakam will resign. I think Tyrese was a huge component on getting Pascal, which is like, I think great from a front office perspective to include your star players in deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like if you want to build around Tyrese should have a say in the types of players they're getting.
Yep.
They have some sort of relationship to where they were talking back and forth, and Tyrese convinced Pascal to be open to signing with the Pacers this offseason, which I mean, to me, that sounds like collusion, right?
Yeah,
I mean, tampering, you could say, but
that's a slight tampering job.
you would think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but at the same time, it's like players being traded, so it's not.
It's not free.
It's
agent.
like legal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a free agent, but to me, I don't think the Pacers really gave up anything of like significant value in terms of what they want to do. Like they signed Bruce Brown, who.
NBA champion Bruce Brown, yeah.
Bruce Brown, they probably signed him for that deal to do what they do and flip him for like a player like Pascal. Because there's no way they thought like Bruce Brown was going to be
The answer.
the perfect fit next to Tyrese. Like,
Right.
I mean, Bruce Brown was a great sixth man on an NBA championship team. And then the picks that they traded are going to be high 20s. So it's like the odds of it hitting on a player it's slimmer. So it's easy to move on from that. It's not like they're going to be lottery picks. And if they are, then Pacers have some serious issues. But the odds of it being a lottery pick is very slim.
And I think for Pascal's career, this is a great opportunity for him to continue to be a significant name in the NBA.
Yeah, and I like Miles Turner in all of this as well because he's playing with the stretch five, which he hasn't had that since probably Gasol since Gasol was a Raptor with them. So it's nice that now he's going to have someone that isn't just going to clog the paint up with him, but instead on offense, they're going to be a lot tougher to defend with Tyrese and Turner as well.
That front court, the Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam front court is awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
if Jarris Walker continues to improve and, comes alongside them and let's say like in 2 years, I don't want to say next year, but like in 2 years, like Jarris Walker is a solid defensive player and, Pascal is kind of still in his prime. They can make some serious noise. The Pacers have really good young talent. And, if they wanted to make another crazy move, a guy like Nembhard or Benedict Mathurin, like those guys have value. So Pacers are going to be interesting to watch for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I like what they're doing.
And there is something beneficial of growing those guys as well. So if they decide, hey, we want to grow, Benedict Mathurin and Nembhard, then I think more power to them as well. So, well, that segment couldn't have gone better.
Yeah.
Talking about the Indiana Pacers. On track to the point before the show, Andy said, guys, this show can't be over an hour long again. And we said, yeah, it won't be.
Yeah.
We're on pace to have like a 3-hour episode right now
Yeah.
for how that first segment went. But speaking of producer Andy, his Cleveland Cavaliers, we have been high and low, belief and disbelief on the Cavs. And every week, Andy lets us know, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. Well, the Cavs, they're on a 7-game win streak. Out of their last 14 games, they've won 11 of them. Is this team currently being slept on? And this is all really without some of their key pieces in Garland and Mobley. What can we make of this Cavaliers team?
I would like to start on this.
Please.
Maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, you asked the question if we believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers are an Eastern Conference contender, like they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Christian said no.
I did say no.
I still stand on that. In the last week, they haven't lost. They've won 7 straight, like you'd mentioned, Scott, and it's all through their role players. I think that they've built a solid team, and they can make the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're good enough.
I just want to put my hand up and say to Andy, I'm sorry, man.
Apology accepted.
I was, as soon as Garland and Mobley got hurt, I said, trade the farm. I said, Donovan Mitchell, man, you're going to be
You said,
living.
I
I said, you're going to live it up in New York, my guy. Like, it's time to just tank. And obviously, this is the reason why I'm podcasting and not in a front office.
Fair.
Because I was clearly like so wrong. And, shout out to Cleveland for building a good team this year. I mean, the addition of Max Strus has been really awesome. And then Isaac Okoro has stepped up a lot this year. We're seeing some good development. And so shout out to Cleveland with sticking through that process, because I know that in years past, people have been frustrated with Okoro and his development, and to see him become a solid player that is key to this team has been really cool to see. And we got to mention George Niang.
Dude, he's such a butthole, but man, he's bald.
Dude, so George Niang, a.k.a. the minivan, is the other night against the Milwaukee Bucks, which, by the way, they beat the Bucks without Giannis by 40 points.
Yeah.
And Niang had like 7 3-pointers. He was insane.
No, he was nuts. And, let me go off Christian. Andy, I'm not apologizing to you. I am not saying sorry to you. I still don't believe this team can get to the Eastern Conference Finals because they need to do one thing. This only proves my theory that you can't have 2 ball-dominant guards in the backcourt. It's time to trade Darius Garland and upgrade from a role player to another star. You like that?
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Because look, I mean,
and I'm a Cleveland guy. Like,
you're a Cleveland guy.
I like them.
Yeah, you like them.
What did you want to say something else? Or are you okay
No.
if I go?
No, you go.
Donovan
Please.
Mitchell, man. Let's talk Donovan Mitchell. Before last game, he was on a little bit of a tear. Last game, he scored 18, but he had 31, 34, 45 in back-to-back games. This guy is leading the team that, is a bunch of role players right now, and it's him. Donovan Mitchell. He is doing it. And I just don't – I want to hear from a Cleveland fan, like, where are you guys at on Donovan Mitchell? Because there are a lot of people out here who don't think that he's going to re-sign with you guys. I feel like the fan base has got to be torn on what to do with him going into the trade deadline.
No, we stand firm that Donovan Mitchell is staying in Cleveland. He is never leaving. He loves it there,
Beautiful Cleveland.
Dude, how can you deny the shores of Lake Erie?
Facts.
It sounds like a book or something.
Yes.
Some historic book that was extremely racist.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, I think it was concerning last year when they didn't ask him anything, or he didn't sign anything. But I think looking back, I think he can get more money this summer. So I think it was a smart decision from his camp and his agent, pretty much saying like, hey, you can sign that, sure. Like, it's great money and everything, but do you want more? Because you're going to get it. And it was just one of those things where it was a business decision.
Here's what I have: 2 things to say.
Yeah.
A quick rebuttal. First, Donovan Mitchell should be an MVP candidate. Do I think he'll win it? No. There's other players that have had better seasons, but he should be considered for how well he's played for Cleveland. 2, he's so going to New York next year.
No.
I mean, it's so toast. We're talking about Lake Erie convincing Donovan Mitchell. We are royally screwed unless this team can make a deep run.
That would suck, dude.
That would suck.
That would suck. I think Mitchell isn't appreciated enough as a star.
I agree.
I think he could be a number 1 option on a championship team if you surround him with the right pieces.
Can we talk a quick second about like the MVP race and MVP voting?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Is it me, or does it seem like the MVP candidates are all decided within like the first like 2 weeks, and then they just like don't change? They like don't change throughout the entire year. It's like if you look at the ladder of it, and it's like Embiid, Jokic, Tatum, SGA,
Giannis,
and like Luka, and it's like those guys like. You can't take them out of the debate. It's like, you have a guy who is like Donovan Mitchell, who is leading this team of role players, and they're, I think, 4th in the East right now on a 7-game win streak, and no one's saying boo about him. But then you have Jalen Brunson with the Knicks, who has played amazing this year. And when the Knicks were doing good, nothing. It's just really interesting how like everyone just like decides, and it's the same like big names every single year, and it's like extremely hard for a new player to even be considered.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that, and I think the MVP just has so many narratives. And it's one of my, this is kind of different thing, but it's almost like how in college football, they come out with the preseason rankings. And it's like, yeah, this team should be number 6 in the country. And it's like, yeah, these should be the top 5 MVP candidates. Now, they're all worthy candidates, but we really shouldn't see or hear anything about MVP candidates or these straw polls until, honestly, after the All-Star break. Because then, like you said, Christian, we just have these controlling narratives where it is the most valuable player to a team. And that's a subjective saying where we all probably have a different view of what that value is, but you can't argue against Donovan Mitchell being extremely valuable to his team, maybe to the fact that he's more valuable for the Cavs than just about any other players to their specific team. That's where it becomes subjective and what you want to argue, but it is a really good point that NBA voting, it's just all of it, MVP, first, second, third team, it's a little weird, to say the least.
I wish that there was like an actual definition. Like the NBA came out and was like, this is the definition of an MVP, and then we just go around that. Or like, this is the definition of first team, second team, third team. So that like we all consensus like group of people can understand what that actually means, as opposed to the all-star voting. We have guys that are like,
yeah, oh dude,
like making based on, I know this is fan voting right now, but like you have like random guys in the voting that like shouldn't even be even in the all-star conversation. And you have guys like Domantas Sabonis, has 6 triple doubles in 2024. He has the most triple doubles right now in the NBA for since the turn of the new year, and he's barely scratching the surface of becoming an all-star, and he should be an all-star this year.
Agreed. Yeah, no, all-star voting, whack. And that's how it's always been, though. I mean, Kobe was receiving, and Kobe, rest in peace, all-star, legend, whatever. But in his last few years of his NBA career, do you know who wasn't playing at an all-star level? Kobe Bryant. And so that's just what it is. And if that's how the all-star game is going to be, more so just a fan spectacle, fine. But we then can't use that as like a career accolade for comparing two greats of like, oh, this guy had 15 all-star games and this guy only had 10. Well, it's like, yeah, but guess what? Fans were voting for this guy years after he did anything relevant. So that's my issue with the all-star game. The only good thing that they've done about all NBA is the fact that they've now made it positionless. Because there was no reason for Embiid and Jokic to be switching off first and second team when they were finishing first and second at MVP voting.
Yeah,
right.
That's stupid. So making that positionless makes much more sense. But after that, I mean, and coming out with the straw polls is just dumb because these voters are obviously, they're not objective thinkers. They're all very subjective.
Right.
And they're gonna read the media stuff. So
everyone's biased. Like there's no perfect way of deciding that unless we like just straight up went with the numbers.
Yeah.
And then that's how we decide. But I mean, everyone's gonna you got like a guy like Bill Simmons, which I feel like he probably is a guy that has like a vote, like a player, and he's obsessed with the Celtics. So of course he's gonna vote Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Whereas a Denver Nuggets media member who has a vote was going to vote Jokic. So it's like there needs to be like subjective. No bias, and that's just not the way it is.
Yeah. So needless to say, our solution: burn it all down. But yeah, nice little tangent, and we were talking about the Denver Nuggets. So let's move on to the Denver Nuggets really quickly, because we've talked about this player before. And oftentimes in the NBA, teams will do well against bad teams, but in the big games and in the big moments, the lights are too bright. There is one player in the NBA where it's actually flipped. The lights are too bright against the bad teams, but he's a star against the good teams, and that's Jamal Murray. He just finished a game against the Washington Wizards where he shot 7 of 23 from the field, putting an absolute stinker. But the game before against the Boston Celtics, he missed 4 shots and scored 35 points.
It's like he needs to wake up. Like he needs something that like gets him up. And he's like, "Oh, I'm playing the Wizards today. I don't really need to try that hard. I can shoot,
coast.
I can shoot my shots, and like if I make them, I make them. But like, I'm not really gonna do anything." And then when he's playing someone like the Celtics, he's like, "Oh, it's on. Like,
I need to wake up for this.
I need to," and that's great. You know, like he is the first like good team merchant. You know, like
Yeah.
he loves playing against good teams and better competition.
I feel like I kind of relate to him in that. Like when I step up to play pickup and it's some sorry dudes, and you know,
You coast.
I kind of coast and I don't play well. I walk away. I'm like, I had turnovers against these guys. That's whack. But then when I step up and I'm playing some solid competition, I turn up. I don't know what it is. I feel like I relate to Jamal Murray.
You're like,
You are Jamal.
this is a full circle moment, Trevor.
I know.
But it also could be the reason.
Yeah, it's probably the reason why Trevor hates Jamal. Is he sees too much. He sees himself too much in Jamal.
I don't know, man. He shows up.
This is crazy. Trevor Mickelin is Jamal Murray.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
how does that
I
make
guess.
you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm a little conflicted inside right now. But he's been balling. He's been balling for sure.
It's funny too because it honestly could cost him making future All-Star games. He won't make it this year because he was injured. Because like it's like wow, he had 40 points against some team that only had 2 losses. But his season average is like 21 points per game because in all these when he plays the Pistons, he doesn't do jack. I have never seen a player like it.
And I will say, like, that is part of the reason why his value or the way that fans look at him, like when I looked at him, I saw a lot of mediocrity and then peaks, incredible peaks of insane play a lot of the times in the playoffs. So when I looked at a guy like Jamal, when I look at players, it's a lot about consistency. And for Jamal, he's just not that kind of star. But regardless, because of how high his peaks are in the playoffs, he deserves to have that star title.
Yeah.
But, like, he shouldn't be an all-star even if he played this year. He's touching 20 points per game, and he, decent stats across the board. But there are other dudes that are more deserving.
I mean, there's a ton of great guards.
But it doesn't mean that he's not a star because his peaks are so incredibly high.
Yeah.
That's where I've landed on him, at least for now.
Yeah. It's just hard to, like, converse because the thing is, at his peaks, he's talked about as maybe the best guard in the NBA, which is crazy, right? He scored a 30-point triple-double in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's unbelievable. Like, that is a peak of a top guard in the NBA. But then his valleys are also, like, 7 of 25 shooting against bad teams. He's great against great teams. I think a lot of teams would rather take that versus guys who don't really step up for big games.
Yeah, totally.
That's why he's such a great number 2.
Right.
Oh,
Like,
I agree.
He can't be a number 1, but
no.
he can be a great number 2.
But a great number 2, and could be even a 3, on a team. Like the fact that he's playing with Jokic and has developed chemistry. He knows his role. He knows where he lands on the hierarchy of alphas on a basketball team, and I mean that's great. He's very self-aware.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that's like, I'm him. This is my team. He's like, dude, Jokic is making me this great player.
Honestly, a lot of the Nuggets players have that mindset, which is
That's why Denver's so
that's why they're so good, because each player knows their role.
Even Jokic himself is very like, it's my team. Like, it's not me, it's my team.
Bunch of humble dudes, good character.
Yeah.
And you gotta imagine that's got to be coming from Mike Malone. Sorry,
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Malone's just a great coach. He's been with them for so long that it's probably just the culture that he's put together.
I mean, even Aaron Gordon went from being a number 1 option in Orlando to a number option in Denver. I mean, that says a lot about a team culture to bring in a guy who's always been a number one his entire life. And they're like, hey, by the way, there's going to be some games where you get like 6 shots.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, great, I'll just be a defensive sound player.
Right.
Just,
It also shows you how valuable character is.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And in the draft process, when you're interviewing for, different teams, talent means a lot. We can't say that character means more than talent, I think. But if you're deciding between 2 players and maybe one guy's a little bit more talented, but he's got, iffy character, and then you got this guy that has great character, you could plug him in anywhere. He knows his role. I'd take that guy every time. And I think the good GMs of the NBA would say the same.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this. Blind survey. Andy, are you locked in right now? Blind survey. Okay. You are currently talking to 3 potential NBA players. One of them is probably the most talented, really bad character. He has a bad mustache, but very good basketball player. The second one, best character you've ever seen. Could maybe hold RJ Barrett to under 100 points, but has phenomenal character. Opens the door for you when you leave. Opens the car door for you when you're getting in.
We get it.
Third guy, good character. Not great, but good character. Great corner 3 specialist. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna have to go with mustache.
Why?
Yeah, boy.
I love a good character arc. I think people can change, and everybody deserves a second chance. And
I can change him.
The ceiling is higher, so yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good answer.
That's a great answer.
Honestly, when you described the first player with the bad mustache, the player comp that kind of came to mind, he doesn't have a mustache, but was like LaMelo Ball. You remember his draft interviews? This guy sounded so stupid. He sounded like he's never read a book in his life.
Yeah.
But we all know LaMelo can ball. No pun intended.
He's a hooper.
He is so good at basketball.
I was thinking of guys like Miles Bridges and Kevin Porter Jr.
I wouldn't touch him with a 1,000-foot lightning rod.
Yeah, neither would I.
Unless it electrocuted them.
What is that in reference to? Maybe like a chair or something?
Yeah,
Miles, no, hey, whoa.
Hey, Scott
you
said
would
it.
say that.
No, Scott said it.
He would
He
say
would.
that. That is something he would say.
You're talking about electrocuting some guys who have been in
Let's move
trouble
on.
with the
Yeah,
law.
let's move. Should we move on?
We shall.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Hall of Fame, or actually not Hall of Fame, GOAT discussion. Kevin Durant. He's wondering, why am I not being considered to being the GOAT? So, guys, I'll keep this question simple for you both. Does Kevin Durant have an argument to be the greatest basketball player of all time?
No. He does not. Kevin Durant does not. He's not even in the discussion, bro.
No, he's not at the table.
He's not even at the table. Kevin Durant's a great basketball player, has had a great career. But my guy, you have to be next level, generational winner, championships. He's not that. The championships he has won are very questionable. So that's where I stand.
Especially for like a legacy.
Right. Yeah.
A championship's
dude.
a championship, but for a legacy,
Yeah.
and producer Andy though, he didn't like
And
that.
I'll say something about the championships real quick.
Please.
You can rank, different championships of as far as legacy wise, like Jokic's last year was amazing. Giannis's championship, amazing. Dirk Nowitzki, amazing. KD's championships are about as low as it gets. He joined a team that had already won a championship. He joined a team that was 73-9 without him. Won 2 championships. Those are about as less valuable as a championship can be for me.
And if he had won with OKC, we probably would be saying something different.
Yes, but he didn't.
Andy?
I am going to say that he belongs in the conversation just purely off of his gameplay. No foul baiting, no nonsense, just completely ethical
hoops.
bucket getting,
Sure.
So for that reason, yeah, he's my GOAT. I love the way he plays. It's beautiful.
He
Masterclass.
is your GOAT.
Well, sometimes.
It's one of those things where it's like if we're not accounting for accolades we're just counting from just like pure basketball, like
Yeah.
skill. Yes, you could say that Kevin Durant has the skill level to be one of the greatest players of all time.
Totally agree.
But we're going to hold him to MVPs, hold him to championships, hold him to All-Stars, All-NBAs, all that stuff. You know, when you're looking at the debate of LeBron versus Jordan, you're talking about two of the greatest players to ever play the game, and they have the resume to back it up. Yes, you look at LeBron going to Miami, similar to KD going to the Warriors, but LeBron went back to Cleveland and he got that championship.
Right.
And then he got another one in LA. And if LeBron didn't get those two championships, I think there would be a little bit more of a separation between Jordan and LeBron. But, I mean, arguably, LeBron in Miami during that time was like the greatest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Whereas like Kevin Durant has always been like super good, and he's won MVPs. We're not saying that he's like not a really good basketball player, but he never hit that like insane level that LeBron did. And maybe that's because of when you talk about Jordan and LeBron, you're thinking of like two just absolute highlight reels. Insane athleticism, two guys that are extremely marketable. And then you have like Kevin Durant, who is like more skill oriented. Just he's long, he's tall, but he's not cocking that ball back and dunking it as hard as he can, or doing windmills in games and 360s. Like he's a shooter.
Very
And it's-
skilled, lots of talent. I liked your point about if we're taking out the accolades. You know, if you're just looking at, let's say you invite prime KD, prime Jordan, prime LeBron, all the greats into a gym. Yeah, he's going to fit right in there. And you're going to say, you're going to be able to point out KD, MJ, Bron, Kobe, those guys, and be like, these guys handouts here. So he would fit in there, you know, along with some of the other players. But you can't take away the accolades. You have to. That's the whole point. That's what
Yeah,
they're playing
that's-
for.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not pickup basketball.
No.
There's a legacy in all of this
Right.
that we kind of mentioned, and the LeBron championship that he won against Golden State probably helps this conversation because that's right up there with Dirk's championship as one of the best championships we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you know who he took down? Was that 73-9 Golden State Warriors team that had won the most regular season games in NBA history. And Kevin Durant, we can't say that. We can just say every stop he's been on teams outside of Golden State that were almost good enough to get there.
Yeah.
What does almost good enough get you? Nothing. It
Right.
gets you maybe top 10 of all time. It's probably where he'll finish. Will be top 10 of all time, but it's not good enough to be top 3 or top 2 or top 1.
Nope.
No, I mean, I don't even know. Like, if Kevin Durant went on to win, like, let's say two more championships as his career ends, like, then maybe. But like, where it's standing at now, and kind of looking at his future career, I mean, he's 35, so like the odds of him getting another 2, maybe even another 1, is like very slim.
And what are the odds of him being the number 1 option on that team?
Right. I mean, like, you know, you look at the Suns team now, let's theoretically, if they made it to the finals this year, and like Devin Booker's been nuts, dude. Like, Devin Booker could be that guy and he could be that MVP. But it really all depends. And unfortunately, I just don't think Kevin Durant's going to have that resume to where he's included in that conversation. I mean, like, we talk about that debate, and we said this earlier off show. It's like, it's Jordan versus LeBron. And then you'll have like someone say Kobe, and it's like, okay, you're a delusional Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's what people are going to say about Kevin Durant. It's like, oh, you're a delusional. Like,
Durant
he doesn't
fan.
he doesn't even fit in this conversation.
Right.
I agree. Yeah, that's a consensus from the small ball group, which usually maybe we have some back and forth disagreement, but not today.
No.
We were locked in on that.
You would say that.
You would say that. You guys so would say that.
You would.
You so would say he's not the GOAT.
Totally.
Well, I think that's a good point to end it. Was this an hour long? No, it was like, what, 40 minutes?
I like it.
I like that. And he looks really happy. He's ready to cut this episode up. So, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say he's gonna cut it up like Dexter, but that was.
Ooh! You wouldn't say that. Roasted. Too small, too small, too small. So, for producer Andy, Christian Ennis, and Trevor Micklin, I'm Scott Ayers. We say so long for now, and we will see you next week.
You would say that.